But you know what we fucking will remember you for? We will remember you as the fucking cunts that charged us 25 cents for an extra thing of fucking ranch when you gave us a tiny ramekin to begin with, all right? That's what we'll fucking remember, and we're not coming back to your fucking place. Make your goddamn fried mushrooms $4.50 instead of $4.25. No one thinks a fucking word about it. Quit putting this goddamn tax on me.
No, now see, here's what you're missing. Now I got to pay for your ranch.
Yes, you do.
Now when I get green beans.
Yes, you do.
And I don't want the extra ranch.
No, you're paying for your ranch.
No. What if I don't want ranch? Now I'm paying for your ranch.
You won't know, though.
Money
you will never know.
To pay for your ranch.
But you will never know.
I don't want to pay for your ranch.
You'll never know, Trae.
Fucking classic you asking for a handout of ranch. That's what you want.
It's what I want.
Oh, those are nice.
Them hit for y'all, Airheads. I hope so. Them socks. Y'all like them Ric Flair socks? Yeah, celebrating the man.
You gotta like turn your shin toward the camera.
It's gonna be hard. There we go.
There you go.
Woo, ooh, woo, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, COVID just fucked you out of a whole Ric Flair experience.
Sure
did. Sorry.
No,
bring that back up.
Trae, there hasn't been a second since it happened that I haven't been thinking about it.
So, any listeners that don't fuck with the Well Read podcast or anything like that, Cho got coveted booking on the Ric Flair roast. You had a box seat for Ric Flair's final match in Nashville. You had it all worked out in 2 days.
Dad was coming with me.
Wrote all the jokes, got all your shit together 2 days before.
Got him approved.
2 days before, here come the plague. Plague said, no, you tried to hit. You don't hit. You can't hit. And you had to miss the whole goddamn thing.
And I think it's like, it's even worse because like it wasn't like I got COVID again. It's the first fucking time I had it. Like I have been, I know that a lot of people out there look at me and think that guy's not careful, you know, which I understand, but a face mask ain't a condom. You understand? They're two different things. I can handle one of them. And the face mask, especially
face masks are fine. I can handle that.
Yeah, of course. Condom. That ain't it. I ain't putting a dick muzzle on.
No.
But like I was actually like very fucking careful. I did everything right, especially where I was from when nobody was doing anything right. I was washing my hands. I was wearing my mask. I was taking the test when I needed to make sure I was. And then like literally one day before the inarguably coolest thing that would ever happen in my career, here it comes.
But before anybody keys on this and says, like, yeah, so why'd you waste all that time being careful or caring about it? We should at least note, despite the fact you missed all that, you did not cough to death.
That's true. I didn't cough to death. Didn't have to be on a ventilator.
Which is the main thing.
It is the main thing.
About precautions and getting vaccinated and all that. You will not cough to death, which is something.
And we've talked, because we've talked about this on a previous episode, I'm fine to mention it now. The day that I found out that I had COVID and was going to miss the Ric Flair roast was also the day that I found out I was going to be a father. So it did
whirlwind.
It was, dude. It was here. Yeah. It was there. But I'll be honest with you, if I hadn't have found that out, I would have been way more depressed about the whole thing.
Sure,
but like,
of course.
I found that out, and it kind of just made me have a normal day.
That's like almost the only type of news you could get in that scenario that would even come close to having any impact on how you felt about anything else.
And it's funny because like I know that like I'm kind of even Stevens, like things just always kind of work out for me.
True.
Like that episode of Seinfeld where it's like he throws a $20 bill out of the window and then just finds one in an old jacket. Like that is me. And that's probably the most prime example because I found out about the kid after. Like I was like, God damn it, I can't. And she's like, by the way, I'm pregnant. And I was like, holy shit. Hey, good day. It's a good day, you know? So I'm the luckiest motherfucker that's ever lived.
That's right. That's the perspective to have on it. So yeah, here we are. We're in Airstream Studios. I'm Trae. That's Corey. This is Puttin On Airs. Tonight, a little later, my Venn diagram segment, Rich and Fancy People and Trash, overlapping. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a thing. I've been meaning to do this for a minute. Some of you guys have sent us like suggestions and things like that, which I appreciate.
At puttinonairs@gmail.com.
I've had ideas for things. Sometimes I look at something and I'm not sure that it like will sustain an actual segment, but I do think it's like worth talking about. It's worth pointing out. So later we're going to do a little sort of like rapid fire. When I say rapid,
amalgamation,
each one's going to take at least 10 minutes to talk about. But
you know how we keep it short.
We're going to cover a few different Venn diagrams in shorter order than we normally do. And then after that, Professor Cho, we're doing history again.
We're doing history with Professor Cho. We're going to talk about the early days of Beverly Hills. Talking about old movie stuff, y'all.
That's where you want to be.
That is where you want to be.
I've always heard.
Yes.
From Weezer.
From Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah, I've had some, I've been to Beverly Hills a few times, not bragging. And so I've got some thoughts on the current state of it. I look forward
I'd love to get into that too.
I look forward to hearing about early Beverly Hills, because that like golden era of Hollywood shit is like, it's super fucking fancy.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It's, again, I think a lot of the world's like sort of picture of fancy for a certain time period, which is the early 20th century, is based on what the version of it that Hollywood put out there. Like old Hollywood kind of dictates how a lot of people feel about fancy shit during that time frame.
I agree 100%. It's one of my favorite periods. And for the record, this is a free plug for this person just because I genuinely think this podcast is amazing. If you're into old Hollywood stuff, please run, don't walk to You Must Remember This, which is a podcast from Karina Longworth. It is
good.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is one of the best podcasts out there.
Hopefully Putting On Airs hits for her and she'll shout it out on her podcast.
That's kind of why I was doing that.
Right.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd tag her.
It's a good call. Maybe they will. It is a great podcast,
it's awesome.
You should check it out, but not at the detriment of listening to this podcast.
No, do this
which
first.
Is priority number one.
For sure.
Each and every week. Every Friday, baby, you know where you're going to be.
Fancy Friday.
In the Airstream.
Either here or at watchpoa.com, where you can see our beautiful set equipped with Princeton
Fitzgerald Pumpernickel the fourth.
Princeton Fitzgerald Pumpernickel the fourth, our mascot, through the fall at least. But I have told Russ, he was worried. He's like, well, when fall's over, we got to get rid of him. I'm fucking gonna make this little son of a bitch.
Just gonna change his jacket.
Oh yeah,
his shirt.
Put a
springtime shirt on him. Maybe some floral stuff.
Get a little Christmas. Yeah. I think I want to put him in a little Santa outfit.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and then come the dead of winter when it's not fall, I guess put him in a little pea coat.
This is super not going to hit for her, and thus she will not do it because I don't know that she has the capacity to do it. But Katie's pretty good on the sewing ones and twos.
Oh, I was expecting her to do it.
Yeah. So Katie,
I said I'm going to do all this stuff, but
I could go in there right after filming this and ask her about it, but I'm not going to. She's going to hear about it right now.
Yeah.
At the same time you guys are hearing about it, Katie, we expect you to make new outfits and also accoutrement for Princeton Fitzgerald Pumpernickel the fourth. That's PFP foe. PFP foe.
PFP foe.
Oh, PFP foe. And we'll keep him going for sure. I don't know what we'd do without him at this point.
Not me either. He's watching over us.
Plotting as they do. Plotting
soulless devils.
Plotting our demise. This font of hatred we have on our on our
font
table.
Of hatred?
Yeah.
Is that FAUNT?
FONT, yeah, like a representation.
Oh, is that
hatred.
what font means?
You know what? We're about to look it up. You about to call me out in an appropriate way. Let's look it up.
No, I didn't mean to do that. It's just I think of font, I think of a type of calligraphy or like the type, a typeset or something like that.
Hey, Trae, I'll look it up.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It obviously is a typeset, but I thought you could use it in the way I used it, but perhaps you cannot.
I'm sure that you can.
By
the way, when you said that, I knew exactly what you meant, and to me, that's all words are. Like if I say a thing and you know what I mean, that word was correct.
Both font and fount are derived from the Latin fons, meaning a spring or fountain. One figurative meaning of both font and fount is a source of something. So a font of hatred.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Thank God. You had me worried there for a second. I thought I had fucked it, but it plays. It works.
Sure does.
Because sometimes, dude, you know me. Like I'll be like, I think we've talked about it before. Like I'll say things, especially words in particular. I will say big words with the confidence of someone who knows all these big words, but I don't always know that they're right. But I just roll with it, and usually it works out. But as soon as you said that, I was like, oh. fuck, man.
Well, I'm the same.
He may have me on this one.
I'm the
no,
same
it
way.
worked out.
Like, I just throw around words that sound good at the moment. Like, you've told me
Right.
several times, like, I've done a set and then come backstage and you were like, hey, that bit you did there in the middle. And I'm just like, yeah, what? And you're like, I don't think any of that means what you think it means. And I was like, did the people laugh? And you were just like, yeah, they did. And I was like, that's what I meant.
I've always acknowledged that part too.
You have.
Normally, the way I put it to you is like, hey, you know that part about the dinosaurs or whatever? Like,
that's not accurate.
First of all, that's super hit. Okay, everybody laughed. You were crushing. I laughed. Then afterwards, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think any of that made any goddamn sense whatsoever. And you were like, yeah, but it hits.
I have a very Alex Jones philosophy on comedy where it's just like, just say it and everybody will get riled up. And you're just like, yeah, boy.
And he's normally right about that.
He
so,
is.
yeah. All right. Well, again, I hope this has been, before we get to those segments, I hope this has been hitting for people for the past 2 weeks because we are now, because if it ain't, we're really in a hole
We
now.
fucked him.
But I feel like us riffing on the French not hitting is probably fine. If you've been here for the past 2 weeks, we're about to finish up the list of odd French customs.
It is going to be so funny if for the past 2 weeks, present or future us has been getting just a barrage.
Yeah.
Barrage,
yeah.
A barrage of emails just
a
being
veritable
like,
deluge.
yeah,
of emails,
right.
Yeah.
A cacophony. No, that's sounds.
That's sound, yeah.
Okay, but of emails just going like, "Hey guys, love the show. That French stuff, y'all need to cut that out.
Maybe skip that.
Yeah,
and we'll
definitely don't do trois of them.
Oh yeah, right.
Is trois two?
I don't know. I don't know French numbers.
I do. Un, deux, trois.
Trois.
So
Okay.
trois is three. And
We
this
did
will be
both
trois.
do and trois.
We did un and deux.
And trois now.
And now we're
about
doing
to do
trois. And that's as much as I know.
We'll know after week 1. That's what's funny about it is the first week if it don't hit for people.
Yeah.
And then me and you will be sitting there knowing like, well, we got 2 more coming for you.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Say la vie, motherfuckers. Ain't that
Je
what they
suis
say?
dumb.
Yeah. Have we talked about on here that I don't think other people find this as interesting as I do, but I'm still going to talk about it again.
Oh,
I don't
well,
think
why
it's
would we
come up
change
on the
our
show.
philosophy
Right,
on how to do a podcast?
But you were doing these French phrases. It hit for me when I found out that je ne sais quoi
meant something that you don't know.
It means basically I don't know what,
the thing,
pretty much. Like it means a certain I don't know what.
Yeah, right.
Like it has people say it has a certain je ne sais quoi, and in French that means it has a certain
I don't know what it is.
And I don't know if you found, but I've found that like rednecks will do that a lot, except they just say the English version of it. They'll be like, that some bitch is faster than a I don't know what.
Yep.
And it's like it has the exact opposite effect.
Right.
Like
it means like you don't know what the fuck you're talking
into
about.
French, people are like, that's true.
That's true.
He does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is like that.
Yeah.
But when a
It does
redneck
have
says
a je ne
that,
sais quoi.
but when a redneck says that, it's just like, oh, their brain stopped hitting. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Their brain caught up to their mouth. Yeah, right. And they weren't ready. And they always say it in a way that it's like, I got more than a damn, I don't know what. It's like they're giving
It's
up.
hotter than a damn, I don't know what
But
out
the
here.
French were just like, let's just make that hit.
Yeah.
And for the
It
whole
has a
world.
certain je ne sais quoi.
And everybody's like, it does.
It does have a certain
It
je ne
does.
sais quoi.
I also do not know what.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I do love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into them. We got a few more here. Odd French customs. Number 11 on the list. Talk politics and religion.
You're not supposed to? Or
do
Ooh.
talk politics and religion.
That's why people hate them.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. So no wonder y'all annoy everybody.
Yeah.
Like, the rule is the opposite especially in the South. That's literally like how many times did you get told that, like growing up in the South?
Don't talk about religion or
Don't talk
politics.
about politics or religion. It's just a general rule of thumb. Like you just don't do it. But in France, apparently, it's exact opposite. And I guess it's not specific to the South because it says, in contrast to the rest of the world, no topic is taboo. While foreigners may shy away from discussing politics, money, or religion, the French love frank intellectual debates and nothing is off the table.
Like all of them just, welcome to Zaxby's. How do you feel about the Brexit?
Yeah, right.
Can I give you my theory on why in America, we don't, and in the South particularly, they've always said don't talk religion or politics.
Because it'll make Thanksgiving not hit?
Well, yes. I've told that.
People get
I've said
killed.
that.
I'm fine with that rule, by the way.
No,
I
I am
make
too.
our living doing
I know.
that,
People,
but like...
people have always asked me, they're like, because you feel this way and maybe people that you live with don't feel that way, how do you handle topics like that, such as Thanksgiving? And my rule has always been, I bring them up after Meemaw's brought the cornbread out.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You got to do that, or I just,
Also,
shut the fuck up.
I feel like people in our situation, whether it's like, I guess it'd be the same for conservatives in the Bay Area as it is for like liberals in the South, where it's like, you probably don't bring them up. I would imagine.
Why do I want to be ganged up on?
But it's like somebody just sit around and they're just sort of like, was it time to call Corey a queer?
Yes, and they do.
Is it call Corey a queer 30 yet? Here we go. Yeah, right. Yeah, everybody get in here. We're about to call Corey a queer for a minute.
Yeah.
But once they start going in on you about that stuff.
We ain't even opened our presents yet, Billy.
Right. But once they start going in on you about that stuff,
I'm going to defend myself.
You're going to defend yourself and how you feel about shit. But you're not ever the one who's just sitting there like, hey, let's piss everybody off real quick.
Hell no,
Right.
dude. I want to take a break. But my point is, I think that it's a similar reason why people in the South are like, don't talk about politics or religion, is the same as why, like, CEOs encourage people not to talk about their salary. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, if the people around here start talking about...
I see where you're going, and I like it.
If the people around here start talking about their salary, they'll realize that they're not making as much as this person and that we're fucking them over.
Right.
So if everyone is just willy-nilly talking about religion and talking about politics, everybody will realize how differing their opinion is of the ruling class, and all of a sudden there will be a revolt.
Or also in the South, like the fact that they might realize that other people don't disagree with them as much as they think that they do. You know what I mean?
They're like,
that's their worst nightmare.
We need to just keep this. We need to keep the air of our supremacy at large.
Assumed.
It's assumed
and implied.
Assumed supremacy.
And that we can't, if we start
talk
poking
about
holes at it, it's the same reason that, like, religious people, they don't like asking questions and stuff. Because
so it makes sense what I'm saying.
Dude, I think that's great. I
Yeah.
definitely think you're onto something. It's like, yeah, the way you're not supposed to ask questions if you're religious, because it's like questions lead to you realizing that shit don't make sense.
Right.
So as long as you keep people from talking about that stuff ever, then they might not band together over some shit. Or
because they certainly don't mean don't talk about the religion we all share.
Right.
Like, they'll go, we don't talk about religion or politics at the table. And it's like, unless everyone's Christian, in which case we're going to talk about that at length. What they mean is don't bring your Muslim shit in here.
Or don't, like, criticize Jesus.
Exactly.
When they say don't talk about religion, they don't mean, like, God sure does it. Am I right, guys? Because they'll be like, sure does it. And then they just go back.
All this bread.
They just go back to the sweet potato pie.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, they mean, like,
don't criticize religion. They don't mean talk about it. And they don't mean don't talk about politics either. Because if everybody at that table shares the same politics, let's talk about gas prices.
They can hit all night long.
Right. What it means is don't criticize,
don't disagree about politics.
Bring any argument to the table that is the opposite of what we think.
It is funny though that apparently the French are somewhat unique in inviting disagreement.
Yeah, bring it on, cocksuckers.
Yes, we should not hit for each other.
Yes,
you know,
this should be a how you say argument.
Yes,
it has a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yes, what good is a dinner if a family doesn't fall apart? Yeah, so yeah, it definitely checks out that they're into that. Same disclaimer we've given in the other episodes. This is just a listicle that we found.
Yeah, so, I sent it to Trae when I was drunk,
and it does hit. So, but a lot of these things we're like, yeah, I can see the French. We're about
to get some
of these things. Yeah,
we're about to get some really pedantic emails from the French.
From the French, they're like, no.
Which, for the record, France. Now, I don't know about our actual podcast listenership, but just as far as like comments and emails that we've gotten at puttingonairs@gmail.com, we have so many countries represented. Like, we get emails from Scotland, England, Australia, Ireland, Spain, like a lot of these places. I have yet to see someone from France that likes this show.
It don't surprise me at all. And I mean, we've gone in on them a lot.
I know that's true, but like I'm making a call to action right now. because it just could mean that like they just haven't emailed us. You know what I mean? So if you're from France and you like this show, drop us a comment, send us an email at puttinonairs@gmail.com. We would love to apologize.
No, Corey, we are pigs.
They are the stinky pigs.
They are the stinky pigs.
These
Puttin On Airs.
They have a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
What is it? Stank.
Yeah.
They don't heat.
I told you guys before you got the green light because I'm a frog.
Y'all, the nights are getting longer, but the breeze ain't the only thing getting stiff. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, we all know that confidence can take you far in life, but that's especially true in the bedroom when it's time to step up to the plate. And by plate, of course, you know, I mean the nether/crotchal regions of the one you love. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Tell them about it, Trae.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead to get down, or you can just be ready to get down whenever a get down opportunity comes up. You know what I'm saying? The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll get your prescription within days. That's the best part of the whole thing. You do it all on the computer, online, down there on the internet there. You ain't got to visit the doctor's office, have any awkward conversations. You ain't got to wait in line at the pharmacy, run into your high school football coach, nothing like that. Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the U.S. of A., prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Joe, where would you be without Blue Chew?
I'd probably pack my shit and gone. I'll tell you that much right now. My wife wouldn't have my dick no other way. Matter of fact, if you're just tuning in for the first time, quick little story. The first time I ever used Blue Chew, I didn't tell my wife because I was like, well, I don't want her to know that I'm doing this. She quickly figured it out, though, because after we got done, she rolled over and goes, "What's the deal?" I go, "What do you mean, what's the deal?" And she said, and I quote, "That ain't your dick." And she's right. It wasn't my dick. It was my Blue Chew aided dick. Because mine does just fine. But you know what I'm saying? If you want to crank them out like Barry Bonds, you got to chew it and do it, my friend. I ain't ever going back. It's the best time of the week or month whenever I get that little blue envelope. So, Trae, tell them once again how they can get a hard old winner.
If you think you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, chew it and do it, baby. Have better sex. We got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew for free when you use our promo code POA at checkout. All you do is pay $5 shipping. You can't beat that. That's bluechew.com. Promo code POA to receive your first month for free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for continuing to sponsor this podcast.
Get you a new dick.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, that's right. We're
Trae,
allowed to because producer Russ is France.
Yeah, right. He's France in the way that fucking Frenchie
He's about
is
the least
from...
French I've seen.
I was about to say, he's France in the same way that Frenchie from The Boys is French.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, y'all do kind of look alike, you and holy shit, him and Frenchie look alike.
They all look alike. The French.
Yeah.
I've always said it.
I'm just saying, like,
Can't
him
tell
and
them
Frenchie
apart.
from The Boys, they kind of look... I mean, Russ, your face way bigger,
Russ,
you know, because he in Hollywood and all,
do
but still.
baguettes hit for you?
Bro.
Bread?
Yeah,
I
baguettes
mean, that's-
specifically. They
in
hit
all-
for me
in all
too.
forms,
But I'm
pretty
just
much,
wondering,
dog.
like, if you every
I
time you
think
go
that's
to the,
everybody.
every time you go to the
Actually,
grocery
no,
store,
I'll
you
be
got a
hon-
bunch of baguettes
I'm a-
poking out the bag on the way back.
I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times baguettes are just too hard.
Much? Yeah, right.
Too hard.
Yeah, I want I want
like
crispy
hard-
on the outside, but like doughy on the inside.
Let me tell you what
That's
I
the
like in
best.
bread. All right. So if we're talking about sandwich, I don't want the baguette because I have to bite into that.
Yeah.
But
you
if
almost
we're,
like cut your mouth
but
up
if we're
and shit.
talking about a bread to like dip in soup,
yeah,
or just having butter, because you can cut the
Yeah.
baguette in half and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you put a sandwich on just a baguette, I'm tearing, and our
Way
teeth
too-
don't hit.
yeah, right.
Like this,
No.
this tooth right here, y'all can see how much it don't hit.
Mm-mm.
That sumbitch has damn near fallen out trying to cut through some baguette and pepperoni.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you give me a baguette that I can dip in soup, which will soften it,
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Here's a good
I'm
one
with you
too.
on that.
Here's a good one. Get a fresh one, cut it into slices, right? toast those slices a little
Yeah.
bit, and
That's
then
what's up.
Put some
like
shit that hits on
put
it.
some
Because
garlic
the
cloves
outside
and
of the
oil
bread is
and
what's the
cook
tough
it,
part.
and
Yeah.
Put a
then
little-
mash it up and spread it on there.
Sure. Or you get some like ricotta.
Oh, ricotta. No,
with
ricotta.
the ricotta. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
It's not ricotta, it's ricotta.
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 And a balsamic drizzle, some
Bro.
shit like that. Maybe some
Bro.
cherry maters that you've charred or, whatever.
Heirloom
Put those
cherry-
on
Can I
there.
tell you-
Heirloom cherry maters, baby.
Trey, can I tell you that
That's
what
a
you
fancy little fuck around right there.
can I tell you that last week I had precisely that? So I've been making a lot of toasts lately. Now, granted, I've been doing this primarily on my keto bread because I'm trying to be good. But I discovered, I was like, oh, if this keto bread, I can make a bunch of toast and that'll be like a nice snack for me. I did a small smear of ricotta, and then on top of that, a small smear of, I won't
I'm
call
more
it,
of a dollop of ricotta type of man.
well, it's a
but
smear.
Yeah.
So it's a dollop, but smeared.
Smeared out.
It's the amount that a dollop is, but smeared, right?
So maybe
then
a
on top of-
mound for me then. I
and then
prefer a mound.
On top of that, I'm not going to call it guacamole because just mashing an avocado doesn't make it guacamole.
I'm
but I will
doing
say,
some fusion shit
but
in
I
his
will-
kitchen.
I will say a smear of avocado paste on top of that, and then charred, blistered tomatoes.
Yeah.
Black, get the crust.
Get some like chopped up walnuts or something, sprinkle on top of that.
Now,
That's
I
what's
did
up.
that with our friends over at a company that doesn't sponsor us, and they introduced me to that, and that hit for me. But no, then on top of that, the charred tomatoes, and then on top of that, just fucking douched
Cum.
with balsamic vinaigrette. Which is the cum of the Italians.
That is,
Balsamic
yeah.
vinegar, that's how they
Yes.
come. Yeah, vinaigrette.
Uh-huh.
On top of that, and then a dollop of sour cream on top of that. So I'm hitting
All
a
right.
lot of different culinary
You are.
worlds.
Fucking man's
and,
a wild card, dude.
and
a
on,
maverick.
and on top of that, spicy honey.
Oh, spicy honey, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's up. It's called Stinger or something. They're really good.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I got fat for a second.
No, them some
second.
then some hitting finger foods we
Yeah.
just talked about. All right, number 12 on the list. Forget children's menus. France's love affair with good food is
What
another
is wrong with me? I don't remember the children's menus.
is another cornerstone of French customs and culture, and kids start young there. Therefore, do not expect a children's menu if you are dining in France. No chicken nuggets or fish fingers for you, not in this part of the world. No French children eat off the main menu because
I'm for
they
that.
also think they're better than everybody
They
else.
also drink wine.
Yes, they do, and that actually goes back to the first speech I ever gave in college. So, as everybody knows, I didn't graduate college, but I did go to a community one for a minute, and we had to give there was the informative, the declarative, and the argumentative speech or whatever.
Yeah,
and my
extemporaneous was
yeah,
a
and
category they
and
do.
my argument, of course. At this point in my life, I was arguing against. I was arguing for being able to drink underage because I was 19, and the big argument that I made was specifically about France and the stats that I had read about France, whereas in France, they treat their children like adults way quicker than we do, so they mature faster, and they allow them to have alcohol at a younger age.
They want them to be able to smoke cigarettes.
Exactly,
man.
of
It's like,
course.
yeah.
Quit growing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
we are meant to be diminutive.
yeah, small. You
Yes.
will not fit into your mama costume.
Yeah.
So they treat them like adults earlier, and so to me, my argument was that makes a child get it over with quicker and understand and appreciate it, and then later it's not like they turn 21 and all of a sudden are doing something they were deprived of for a long time. Because now, granted, I also had to point out that in France, there's people don't drive as much in France as they do in the South or whatever, but like DUI rates are way lower in France. Alcohol poisoning, way lower in France. Kids like going to jail for alcohol-related crimes, way lower in France. And my argument was that it was because they were introduced to alcohol at an early age and learned to respect it instead of something that they feared and thought was something that like was secret and dangerous.
I'm down with that. I don't think we have to deprive them of chicken nuggets to do that, though.
I agree. You should
Every kid should experience the joy of fucking dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
What if I want some
I don't care
too?
how Frenchy they are. No, well, that's the thing, dude. When you when you have your own kids, like it's an opportunity for you to go back to eating kid shit, because if you make them kid shit and they don't finish it all,
you get to
now
eat it.
you can go in.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
It's funny because I've never been a clean your plate type of dad,
Yeah,
because
right.
it's like that's
Eat till you're
why
full.
our kids are fat.
Just eat till you're full.
But also because then I get to have their
all
of
kids
it,
when they don't. Yeah, when they don't finish it.
I heard that that's actually like a problem. Like a lot of dads or a lot of parents gain weight because they are constantly finishing the kids' food.
It's a huge
Did
problem.
I ever tell you about the time me and my sister, like, my sister's one of my best friends, and so she can say anything to me, and we get real emotional with each other. And one night, she had been being made fun of by a lot of her friends for her diet, and we and her were talking, and she was crying. And she was trying to explain why she didn't think she was wrong. And what she said through tears was, I mean, I'm eating chicken. Why do they care if it's shaped like a dinosaur?
Yeah.
And I agree with
It's
her.
a good question.
Who
yeah.
gives a shit?
Right.
My macaroni and cheese is shaped like Hey Arnold. Who gives a fuck?
But I feel like there's an element of what you were saying in the last entry about like, yeah, no wonder y'all don't have for people. Where
Yeah,
it's
right.
like there's this general air of superiority that permeates a lot of these things, because it's like if you put down a plate of chicken nuggets in front of a little French kid, they're going to be like, well, is the confit? You know what I mean? You're like, you little fuckhead.
I want that consomme,
Yeah,
you bigot.
Yeah, right. A 6-year-old with a beret on, fucking berating you.
Yeah, right.
For not having confit at the kids' table.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like
This is not wasabi.
It's like, yeah, you know, y'all a little extra. That's
Yeah,
all we're
right,
saying.
for sure. Yeah,
y'all,
for sure.
y'all could stand to be a little less extra. Maybe. All right, number 13, say no to plastic bags. France is leading the world in terms of banning single-use plastic, including plastic bags, plates, cups, utensils. In fact, expect to pay extra for paper bags or plastic bags, or carry your own, which that's how California works. So
I know why they
California
don't
is sort of the France of America, I guess.
Do you know why they don't use plastic bags?
Because they kill ducks and stuff?
No, it doesn't hold up the baguette.
Oh, right. Yeah, baguette don't look right coming out of a
it's
plastic
gotta be
bag. You
paper.
got to have the paper bag you can hold on your shoulder while you fumble down the street or whatever. With no less than, I'd say, at least 5 baguettes sticking out the top, right?
Smoking a cigarette, holding that, just going like, look at these tiny titties.
Yes, dressed like a mime. Yeah.
Yeah, she has the armpit hair.
Yeah.
It stinks.
I was thinking that Louis joke with the baguettes.
The bag of dicks?
Yeah. No, listen, this one, again, I live in California. That's how they treat bags too. You got to pay extra for them. And I got no problem with, like, plastic bags don't hit.
Okay.
And we don't have to have plastic bags. I'm fine with it.
Now,
I feel like paper should be okay because we could recycle it. But yeah, plastic bags, we could get rid of that as far as I'm concerned. Wouldn't bother me at all.
I agree. But at the same time,
Seems like maybe you don't.
No, I agree. No. I agree that we
There's a
don't
but.
need plastic bags, and there should be a different type of bag. Okay. But what I don't agree with is these places that are like, you have to pay extra just for me to give you any type of bag. Okay. And let me explain to you why. I went to the gas station the first day I was here. And I got like 4 Gatorades, I got 4 Muscle Milks, I got 4 energy drinks, just kind of setting myself up, right?
Just hitting for the bro cycle, dude.
Exactly, yeah. Dude, fucking for
Gatorades, Muscle Milks, and energy drinks?
I'm a bro.
My man's is broing
I'm
out.
a bro. I mean, because I've been working
These are
here.
my necessities. First thing that happens when I land is I got to go get my energy drink, protein drink, and Gatorade.
I do, man.
Or else I just can't be in a place.
I'm a very liquid first person. Like I've got to have a lot of liquids. Like if I go out to brunch with you, especially if I'm drinking, but like my breakfast is like, well, I'm definitely having an orange juice at breakfast. I've got to have my water, and then I probably also want an unsweet tea because like that's just my thing. So bring me those, and like sometimes I'll be like, tomato juice, and fuck yeah, I'm having pancakes. Give me some milk.
Cold drinks, baby.
Drinks.
Cold drinks.
Cold drinks.
Cold drinks is what's up.
So I get all this stuff and I put it on the counter, right? And that's a lot of shit.
It is.
And so at the end, I pay for it and I was like, "Oh, can I have a bag?" And he goes, "Oh, you're gonna have to pay for that," which I don't mind paying for it, but like, tell me before you do this thing, because now I've got to run my card for 10 cents.
Especially if you put fucking
all that
15 things on the counter. Be like, are you going to need a bag?
Yes, assume I need a bag.
Right.
Now, granted,
no,
again,
you got to ask for
again, is 10 cents really a lot? Of course not. 10 cents is not really a lot to charge for a bag. But what happens is I will now remember that you charged me 10 cents for a bag and all this bullshit happened, when what you could way more easily do is put an extra penny on several items through the store that none of us would know at all that you did. And now we don't have to think you're a fucking asshole for going, that bag will be 10 cents. You like if it's just,
but the thing is, they're not paying for the bags. What they're trying to do is incentivize people to not use bags.
And that's what I'm saying.
To bring their own bags or whatever. So it's not just that they're trying to like.
And in that sense, I'm okay with it. In that sense, I genuinely am okay with it. But I've also had a huge problem with fucking restaurants that are like, oh, you want an extra ranch? That's 25 cents. No, motherfucker. Give me the goddamn extra ranch. Put that 25 cents. Make the green beans cost a little bit more. We'll never fucking know. We'll never know. We'll never think of you as the people whose green beans cost 10 cents more to make up for something. But you know what we fucking will remember you for? We will remember you as the fucking cunts that charged us 25 cents for an extra thing of fucking ranch when you gave us a tiny ramekin to begin with. All right? That's what we'll fucking remember, and we're not coming back to your fucking place. Make your goddamn fried mushrooms $4.50 instead of $4.25. No one thinks a fucking word about it. Quit putting this goddamn tax on me.
No, now see, here's what you're missing. Now I got to pay for your ranch.
Yes, you do.
Now when I get green beans.
Yes, you do.
And I don't want the extra ranch.
No, you're paying for your ranch.
No. What if I don't want ranch? Now I'm paying for your ranch.
You won't know, though.
Money
you will never know.
To pay for your ranch.
But you will never know.
I don't want to pay for your ranch.
You'll never know,
Fucking
Trae.
Classic you asking for a handout of ranch. That's what you want.
It's what I want. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is you will never leave a place going, I can't believe the green beans cost 8 more cents and doing all this math.
I know what
you'll
you mean.
Never leave a place thinking that, but you will leave a place going, can you believe that I wanted an extra sauce and they cost me 25 cents?
If you feel like they nickeled and dimed
it's a shitty business model is what I'm saying.
I
you
know.
won't go back there.
I was just fucking
No, I know you are, but you fucking agree with me, right?
I do. You're right. No, you're right.
Give me the fucking ranch.
Right. If somebody leaves feeling that they got nickeled and dimed by the establishment, then they're going to have a negative outlook on them. Whereas if they just charged a tiny bit more for everything across the board, but gave you whatever sauces whatever you want, no one would ever question that or think anything twice about it.
You know me. I've told you this a million times. I wake up every day going, today, Corey, please do not be the back in my day guy. Please do not be the back in my day guy. Whenever we were fucking kids and you would go to McDonald's, you wouldn't even have to ask for ketchup. And that bag was, dare I say, lousy with ketchup. You would almost throw your fucking shoulder out trying to pick up a McDonald's bag sheerly because of the amount and volume of ketchup in the bag. And now, asking for some fucking ketchup. And they're like, how many? I got the large fries, bitch. I don't know. A lot? Mm-hmm. A lot of ketchup?
A lot of that comes down to, especially because you're talking about these, people are not personally invested in the future of the company they work for when they work for fast food or whatever.
So sometimes if you get a black girl, you're going to get a lot of ketchup.
Because like when I was a server, dude, they used to be on our ass about the amount of shredded cheese or the amount of bacon we put on the tater soup or the amount of dressing we gave them. But like a lot of, me, dude, I was giving people the hookup. Dude. Because like I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. And dude, like I don't care about their inventory or their lossage or whatever.
You worked at a chain, right? Like a chain.
Yes.
So you have to realize, here's one thing I will stick up for, even though those chains are completely soulless, obviously, and don't care about their workers at all. But every server and every cook in all 900 stores across the country, all giving 1 ounce on every meal, actually does exponentially add up to like hundreds of thousands
Russ,
of dollars.
Turn your fucking mic off right now. Turn your fucking mic off. And I'm going to say one more thing before we get, listen, and I need the camera tight on me.
Charlie's was doing fine, buddy. That's all I'm saying.
Camera tight on me on all these things. Let me tell you something. The biggest pro tip that you've ever gotten in your life, if you are at an airport or you were just walking by a frozen yogurt place and you notice that a fat black lady is working behind the counter, Run, don't walk. Because you are going to get extra Oreos on top of your shit without fucking asking for it. They give you the goddamn hookup all the time because they know the fucking struggle. Every fucking time they're like, here you go, baby. You got this.
Let me make another capitalism argument. This is straight capitalism, what I'm about to say. Russ worked at back of the house. That's different. But like, if they
he's got a neck tattoo.
Here's the reason. Here's the reason I did. Here's the reason I did that. Because if I get people to hook up, maybe they'll tip me more.
Of course.
If you don't want me to do that, pay me an amount of money that actually fucking hits.
You're goddamn right.
If you're gonna pay me $2 an hour and make me live based on what these people,
they don't do that here in California.
In
California, they pay you an actual living wage plus tips.
But if you're gonna
expensive,
if you're gonna pay me $2 an hour and basically like you're gonna incentivize me to fucking try to ingratiate myself to these people,
there's actually a term for it. It's called sweethearting.
Right. So it's
and
like
you're right.
There, you know, if you don't like that, then pay people more where they don't have to operate that way.
People who appreciate
like you are incentivizing me to do that to you as a company.
I would say
by paying me shit.
I would say people who appreciate the company that they work for don't steal from it.
If you fucking tell me, if you fucking tell me that I gotta pay for extra ketchup, I'm probably not coming to your goddamn restaurant anymore. I'm probably not fucking coming there. Whereas if you just charge me even $1 more for the thing that I got, I wouldn't even fucking think about it, and that covers your fucking ketchup. All right? Think. Fucking think. All right, what's the last one?
All right, there's two more. Number 14. France's April Fool's Day pranks are a little fishy.
Oh, yeah?
Fishy. That's a play on a little fishy. In France, April Fool's Day is best known as Poisson d'avril, which stands for Poisson. Best known for the...
you said that so good.
Best known for the Poisson d'avril, which it means April fish. So I guess it's April Fish Day over there. One of the French customs dates back to 1564. Not only does this delightful and uniquely French tradition see young children pranking adults by sticking a paper fish onto their back, they also dash away swiftly and yell, Poisson d'avril.
Well, that's cute.
It is cute. It's harmless.
We do fish
I feel like it would hit harder for me if it was real fish because I could see the French, like...
Putting in your car radiator, like
or just a kid slapping a fucking
person with a
sardine on the back of their face. Poisson d'avril.
But a paper fish, who gives a fuck?
Like it's like, oh, now it stank even more.
Well, yeah, right. But did y'all do that to people?
You fish stank on top of my regular French stank.
Did y'all do that to people? Put the fish in the radiator?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
like on their wedding day, you put a fish in the radiator,
right.
so then they go off to their honeymoon and their car stinks the whole time. Put cheese underneath their car.
Let's just stank up their lives a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the only information I have, but I'm interested to know. This is just a traditional April Fool's thing versus like this is what April Fool's is over there. Because again, because it's paper fish and little kids doing it.
It's cute.
It hits for everybody, I guess. It's like, oh no, I got Poisson d'avril, you know, my day is ruined. I have a paper fish on my back.
Oh,
you know, like, yeah, right. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's cute. April Fool, where are you at on April Fool's as a comedian?
I think as a comedian, here's the two things, and you're going to agree with me. The two worst things that has ever happened to comedians is
because ostensibly it's supposed to kind of be like
our day,
but it's not the comedian's holiday.
We fool every day.
Yeah,
I take that day off. You won't even see me on Twitter. I do it at a protest on April Fools. I'm not on Twitter. I don't read it because people try to fucking fool you, and I'm not into that in April nor any other month. But the two, in my opinion, the two worst things that have ever happened to comedians is April Fool's Day and the game Cards Against Humanity, because both days are that day and that game are the exact same thing. In that day and that game give people who otherwise have no right even attempting to be funny carte blanche, carte blanche to try to be funny, and it never fucking is.
Cards Against Humanity is so frustrating if you're an actual comedian because like you will have an actual card that allows you to make a clever joke like you played actual clever joke, and then the guy who has 2 midgets covered in molasses.
Yeah.
Fucking, he has that card.
I got a monkey with pussy zits.
Yeah,
Like,
monkey with pushy zits. Yeah, right. Yeah, the biggest, blackest dick. Whatever.
Yeah,
Like
it's a trump card,
and they win every time, even
Yeah.
if it makes no sense at all. They win every time, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you're a giggle monger professionally.
Because as a
you know?
comedian, I'm never going for the trump card. I'm always looking for like what punch makes the most sense for this setup.
Right.
I've never seen a comedian be good.
I've actually like sacrificed. I've had like trump cards
me too.
that I
Nope.
don't play because I'm like it don't make sense.
It makes no
has
sense.
to play
Yes.
or I'm not going to do it.
And April Fool's is the same. Where like comedians aren't really good at April Fool's because April Fool's Day is
It's just for lying.
It's lying.
It's just lying.
It's not
Yeah,
jokes.
right.
It's lying, and we're not like we're truth tellers. God damn it!
It's
But,
like it's like those open mic comics that just like do crowd work and just like insult everyone and just it's like
April Fool's is their
it's
day.
easy. Yeah, it's
April
it's like a
Fool's is their
trick.
day. April Fool's is not. I want people to not associate that with comedians because that is not our fucking day. Matter of fact, again, that's our off day. That's our Labor Day as comedians.
I will say it's kind of funny that April Fool's was the official launch day of the Puttin On Airs podcast, though.
Well, that's true.
All right.
We were really climbing
So last one, they got another holiday there I'd never heard of. All right. So number 15, last one. We're finally at the end, y'all.
Holy shit.
3 weeks later, we're at
Can we
the
do it
end.
next week?
Celebrate. So number 15, celebrate Old Maid's Day in a frightfully fanciful green hat. So let me get through. Let me get through this before we comment on it because I think we're gonna have a lot of comments. November every year, the French celebrate St. Catherine's Day. St. Catherine is the patron saint of unmarried women, spinsters, milliners, drapers, and craftspeople.
An ugly fat lady.
So to mark the day, yeah, I said unmarried women. I'm just kidding,
We're
ladies.
kidding.
So to mark the day, the French give
Plenty of hot women that don't hit.
the French give single female friends or colleagues a decorative hat, usually green, and this is for them to wear as a token of good luck in their quest to find a husband. So
Wow.
I got a few thoughts on this. Like, it's funny to just be like,
Look at that green-hatted bitch.
well,
I'm
you
gonna give
come
it-
in, you know, like if you're unlucky in love as a lady and you feel a little unwanted, whatever, and you come in to work that day and 8 different people are like, here's your green hat, bitch. It's your day, Tammy. You don't hit. We all know you don't hit, so we all pitched in to get you this green
Hey,
hat that
that says
signifies
that
to the
you-
world that you
you
don't
don't
hit. Right?
That's
But
pretty rough.
Also, it's like thinking about the Pepe Le Pew tradition. It's like just think about all these
It's a
French
Target.
dudes out there. Yeah, Target,
Yeah.
exactly. They're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it's the green
Sacre
hat.
bleu. He has the green hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, getting a little reppy, as you said. It's just, I feel like there's some issues with that holiday.
It's like that trend that went around. We were out of our hitting prime at this time, but the teenagers were doing this thing where like they would wear rubber bands on their arms and the colors signified things that they had done. Like blue meant blowjob, yellow meant hand job.
okay. I missed that completely.
Yeah, so they had that and it was popping rubber bands. Like a dude would come up and be like, "Pop, we finna do this thing because you do that." It was a girl just being like, "I suck dick," you know, or whatever. But
And some dude could pop the dick suck band and be like,
we doing this, yeah, or whatever. Like we're that pop,
Oh,
popping
goddamn.
rubber band, yeah.
I
And
could
they
have went
just-
for that in my day.
Oh, that would have hit. But like the green hat is the opposite of that, where
Right.
it's like, I
don't
don't hit.
hit.
And we're telling everybody that I don't hit. And it's funny because most women I would say that are in green, oh yeah, jelly sex bracelets and their color meanings. Okay.
I feel like the gays are like, yeah, y'all are taking our shit because, you know, the gays been doing this for forever.
Okay, yellow indicates the wearer is willing to hug. Pink indicates the wearer is willing to give a hickey. Fuck a hickey. I want you to suck my goddamn neck. Orange indicates that the wearer is willing to kiss. Purple indicates the wearer is willing to kiss a partner of either sex. Hits. Red indicates the wearer is willing to perform a lap dance. Have you ever gotten a lap dance from someone that wasn't a stripper?
No, never. Also, this like, I don't know. I feel like they've actually already kind of lost me. This is too much to. It's too much and more
Keep up
granular
with.
than I thought. I thought it would just be like blue blowjob,
Yeah.
orange,
That's what I said.
orange pussy.
Yeah, because
black,
ovaries.
butt,
Yeah.
brown is
Butt,
the butt.
brown is
yeah, right.
butt.
And it's like that's about all you need.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, fuck all this. But yeah, well, hold on. white indicates they'll flash what they have. Well, just pull your titties out. Like, you don't have to.
I don't need a white band.
Yeah, exactly.
If you got your titties out, I get it.
Yeah, New Orleans already did this.
Yeah,
it's
right.
just one bead to cover them all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, I don't know, but you know that like the gays had a whole coding system for a long time about like certain colors.
Really?
Yeah, that's how they indicated like what
I'm a top, I'm a bottom,
yeah, right? All that
right.
stuff. They've been doing it. Gays,
Somebody just
dude,
like got the Pharaoh bracelet on. They're like, this fucker will do anything.
they're trailblazers, man. Especially when it comes to fucking particularly
Gays and blacks,
butts.
man.
Yeah, but like they stay on the bleeding edge, the forefront of that. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Y'all, it's Trae here, and I know Corey agrees with me that I oftentimes wish that life came with a user manual. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want somebody to sit you down and tell you what to do. What's the right decision to make right here? How to live your life the right way to get what you want out of it. But that just ain't the way things work, y'all. So sometimes you feel lost, you know, in your career, in your relationship, in your life as a parent, your personal life, any of that stuff. You know, it can start to weigh on you, especially when you get into your 30s like I am, and you have all of that going on at the same time, all of those lives converging into one life that you have to get up and live every day. It would be better if you had a manual to tell you exactly how to go about doing that. But as we all know, life don't come with a user manual. So whenever it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. We all feel stuck sometimes. We have to find ways to, you know, continue to soldier on, and that's normal too. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel uncertain, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, becoming a parent, or again, all of the above. It can be hard, and we all understand what that's like. Well, that's what therapists are for. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. Cho, you found therapy this year. Won't you tell them how that went for you?
Well, it was wonderful. Also, I am on medication, but if I could explain it to you like this, the medication has worked wonders for me, but therapy has made it to where me and the medication can actually work together as a team and really work on my goals, because, you know, the medicine makes my brain level. But what therapy did for me was it gave me a lot of coping skills, and it gave me a lot of new habits, whereas I used to, if something kind of bad happened, would freak out and lose my mind, or as we like to call it, choed out. But now it is much easier for me to compartmentalize my feelings, look at something, take some breaths, and really focus and take everything one task at a time. And I know that sounds cliche, but it really is something I've learned through therapy, that and a lot of other things that now that they are just habits of mine, make me a better person. So, guys, it's never too late to talk to a therapist. Where we come from, that was not something that you were supposed to do. You know, it's sort of like the whole Tony Soprano thing. We'd have to go in the back of a flower shop and pretend we were doing something else. But especially now with online, I mean, you can just do it at your house, you know, and you can also find a therapist that's right for you. I was lucky, and I got geared up with a perfect one right off the bat. It was somebody that sounded like me and was from my area, which I found to be really important because, frankly, I don't want to talk to a stuffy San Franciscan. No offense to all you stuffy San Franciscans listening here, but it was great getting me matched up. BetterHelp helped me so much. And whether or not you've been in, you know, like, had some recent trauma, or you've just been dealing with anxiety and depression your whole life, I'm telling you, please do it. All right. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist at any time. It could not be simpler. There's no waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/POA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/POA. Do it, y'all.
All right, listen, we finally got through the French mess shit, and now it's time to move into the segment. Again, it's a little different, Venn diagram. We're going to talk more briefly about a few different things that have been brought up about possible overlaps between fancy people and trash people. And so the first one I wanted to say to you, Cho, is talking shit
Oh,
or like threatening people.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot more on both ends of the socioeconomic spectrum. But
Going in.
the threats are very different. Yeah, in the fancy people world, it's like Tom Cruise and Tropic Thunder.
right.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
will
just
fuck
yeah,
your face.
literally fuck your own face. Scorched earth, motherfucker. You know, like talking like rich people talking shit is like you'll never work in this town again. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. And
I will
fucking-
call everyone you ever love and make sure that no one will hire you for, yeah, exactly. All that
Right.
shit.
And then poor people talking shit is just like, I'm finna whoop your ass, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's a lot more like straight and to the point.
Yeah, for
you know what
sure.
I mean? But
We
I
ain't
do
got
feel like-
time for all that like plotting.
and like passive aggressiveness, like
Yeah.
subterfuge, the underlying
Yeah.
threat or whatever of doing stuff. It's just like, no, I'm about to punch your dick through your
Yeah.
asshole if you don't shut the fuck up.
You want
right
your
now.
dick whooped?
Yeah, right. You want your dick whooped. Like that could also go another way.
yes,
that's
Gary-
actually
yes,
one of
Gary, I
those.
would like
that's one of
that.
those bands
Yeah,
they
dude.
have. They're like, that's the dick whooping
I didn't
band.
know if you noticed, but
I'd like
yeah.
to have my dick whooped real quick. Do you have any good any good redneck shit talking stories or anything that comes to mind? Anything you ever
Yeah.
heard a motherfucker say? Because I've got one you've heard it a million times, but never on this podcast. But it's pretty good, I think. I've
Here-
always liked it.
So I've
You just
got
reminded
one.
me of a video, by the way, that we should watch real quick. Hold on.
Go ahead, watch it. No, go ahead.
That was Play-Doh.
Wait, hold on.
You ain't gonna get out. I don't have to get out. I'm one of them white guys. Get out. Watch who you're talking to. Chill out. You. You need to chill out. Get out. Lay off the fucking steroids. Get out.
Steroids.
No way.
Then you're a cunt. Not really. You're kind of the asshole coming up on me. You stop like you got balls and you don't. You came up and flipped me. You stop.
Looks like Rick.
You flipped me. You stop like you got balls. And I said, what is your issue? You stop like you got balls. And I said, what is your issue? You ain't got balls. I didn't say I did. I never once said that. You ain't going viral when you got your nuts.
You don't hit.
Yeah.
You just got lit up by an old 45-year-old man. You're a badass, aren't you? Yeah. I win. You feel like it, don't you? Oh, you flinched, you little cunt. What am I gonna do? Let you hit me? No. Yeah. Well, you would flinch then, wouldn't you? All right.
You're a loser for
You're
life.
in the middle of the road, aren't you? Get out of the truck. Truck, little lady. No, I'm good. See, because you know you lose. How do I lose? Because I will beat your fucking dick into the ground all day long.
Look at his
I'll
fucking,
s-
like, I got
yeah,
him. Wait, hold on.
stay beating your dick.
Fucking dick into the ground all day long.
Tell me I won't beat your dick off, motherfucker.
Wait, hold on.
Fucking dick into the ground all day long.
That reminds me of
Beat your dick.
Wait, you gotta listen to the rest because you got. Hold on, that's
Oh,
something.
you lose. How do I lose? Because I will beat your fucking dick into the ground all day long. That's kind of gay, isn't it? I will beat your dick.
Hop out. Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Let's get gay right now, motherfucker.
That reminds me of a very similar situation where I would say that a football coach riling up his team at halftime is sort of talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to give a story about that is like kind of related to this. We were playing Towns County. I was a sophomore, and I know that because my buddy Robbie Lee was a senior, which is the only way that he would have the confidence to say what he says after all this happens. We're getting beat. And we get back in the locker room, and our coach is fucking giving us he's giving us, what is he giving us?
The business?
The what for?
The what for?
The what
yeah.
for.
That's the redneck version of the business.
The redneck version of the business. He's giving us the what for. I mean, he is telling us how much we don't hit in all the ways that we don't hit to the degree that we don't
How
hit.
bad are y'all getting beat? Like, can you still get back in it? Or
Oh, yeah,
is it...
yeah. And we won.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we
okay.
ended up winning. We were down by...
That's what the what for is good for.
We were down by 9 points or
Mhm.
something like that. And so he's fucking screaming. He's losing his goddamn mind. And at the end of this, he comes in talking about how y'all are all lackadaisical in this locker room. Nobody gives a shit. Meanwhile, Towns County is going to come out of the locker room for the second half all jacked off and ready to play. and Robbie Lee, as soon as he says that, Robbie Lee goes, Coach, you got any problem with us coming out like that too?
That's great.
And we all fucking died laughing and then went and beat their ass. But like it was a very similar.
Those two things just reminded me of at my old job working at O'Charlie's. The general manager once had the regional manager in there auditing our shit, and it was pissing him off. And he was our manager was a dick to the bartender, and the bartender's like, "Whoa, okay, goddamn!" And he goes, "It's like, oh," he's like, just the regional manager's name was something Cox, COX.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's just I got Cox up my ass." But anybody like accidentally unleashing innuendo while pissed off,
this
is tremendous.
This ain't about talking shit, but it's a similar innuendo thing. One time I was in high school and my sister was in middle school, and she had another one of her friends who was in middle school, and she was from a different middle school, and she'd just become friends with my sister, and so we'd all just met her as a family, and we were riding around after church going somewhere to eat, and we had a little bit of time before we were going to go to eat, and my dad was just like, "Hey, y'all want to stop at the sporting goods store?" And this girl just goes, "You mean Dick's?" And we were just like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I just love dicks."
Yeah.
And my dad just goes,
Yeah.
But like Kirby and her didn't understand what it was because they were in middle school, and he was just up there losing his goddamn mind, and so was I, while my mom was just like, "Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up." So like now to this day, anytime my sister is like, "Yeah, I just talked to Julie, she's in New York," Dad will go, "I just love dicks."
So the one that I've told that you've heard, but not on this podcast is, and again, our age, we were at the very end of this insult working.
When they let the hits
it will
happen?
never work again. The kids today wouldn't even understand it, but it landed so hard for us. We're all getting drunk in my buddy Kobe's garage, and Thompson, my man's, was playing quarters against our other buddy Eric. And the type, not like quarters you bounce it into the glass, the type of quarters where you try
Against
to
the wall.
It's like lawn bowling. You try to throw them against the wall. Whoever gets the closest to the wall without touching it wins all the quarters that are out there. That's how it works. So Thompson,
Great game, by the way.
Thompson and Eric are going. It comes down to just them two. They both throw quarters. They're like, you cannot determine who is actually closer to the wall. They're both sitting there looking at it like, "No, fuck you, motherfucker. Get the index card out, goddamn it. Fucking no, fuck that.
Get Daddy's ruler.
And then everybody's like, throw again. New quarters. You gotta go again. Y'all are tied. You gotta go again, right? And they're already in each other's ass, you know, fucking lighting each other up. And, all right, we're throwing again, goddamn it. And Eric goes up there and he throws it, and dude, it's like a centimeter from the wall. It's perfect. And so everybody loses their minds. He's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, what now? What do you think about that?" Thompson walks up there, throws it. It's a millimeter away from the wall, clearly closer to the wall. It's the only way you could have thrown it and be better. And everybody loses their mind even more. Thompson goes up there, grabs the quarter he threw, turns around, walks up to Eric and goes, "Why don't you take this shit and call your mama, motherfucker?" And threw it in his face. and then started sea-walking.
Yeah. And then
while sea-walking, spilled some beer out of his bottle while sea-walking, slipped in the beer, fell into my buddy Kobe's trophy case, and shattered like 3 of his like commemorative high school glasses. As you know, you fucking get a good one in, and then you just lose all control, you know?
You just reminded me of...
But it's like, you can't use a quarter to call anybody anymore.
Of course
you know
not.
what I mean? It was already
that's a very old
anachronistic,
reference.
Right.
Like the movie...
Call your mama to come pick you up, you piece of shit.
The movie, what was that Colin Farrell movie? Cellular or...
Phone booth.
Yeah, that don't even
booth,
make
right?
sense no
Right,
more.
yeah.
You just reminded me of some shit talking that is going to super hit for you because you were the deliverer of this shit talk.
I have no idea where this is going, but I'm very excited.
Oh, you will as soon as I start talking. So we were
maybe I know it already. Go ahead.
We were doing shows. I don't know where we were at, but we were doing well-read shows. Let's just say hypothetically we were in Omaha, Nebraska. I don't fucking know. So we're doing shows. And after our shows, we would often do the Well-Read podcast in my hotel because that was everyone's most favorite room to just leave all of their old food in. So that's where we would do the podcast. Let it just stank in there, just fuck it up, and then walk out, which I get. I would have done the exact same thing had I been in the other shoes. But we had been doing the podcast and we had gotten like super riled up and we were drunk as fuck. We'd been drinking wine. It was a weird night. We normally never did any of that. And Drew got pissed off at you for something, being long-winded
running
or
running
your mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he said something to the effect of, I swear to God, man, just like you every single goddamn time, just sitting there on your fucking soapbox with your fucking orations, and you looked at him and go, you better get on your fucking knees every night and pray to God and be thankful for my orations for your goddamn career or something. Do you remember what it was exactly?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. He was like, I was running my mouth, and he was like, yeah, always you and your goddamn orations. I'm sick of them. And I said, motherfucker, you need to get down on your knees every night and thank the God you barely believe in anymore for my orations.
And, dude, it has always stuck with me. And what was great, it was such a great shit talk because it also applied to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could have been saying that to me and it would have been making as much sense, except for like, I wasn't being an idiot and shit talking your orations, but like, I was like,
yeah, you had an appreciation for my orations.
Of course I did. I was just like, my man's spitting over here. Like, my man is fucking spitting.
Just allow me to wrap up this new segment called That Reminds Me.
Okay.
And Trae, you mentioned earlier that you thought that they should keep it simple with the bracelet colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that I found this, and I guess the gays keep it really simple.
So this is the gay color coding: dark blue, butt fucking, dark blue, butt fucking, light blue, mouth fucking, brown, poop.
Scat?
Brown is poop.
That's what scat means?
Yeah, brown is poop.
Means you'll eat shit?
Green is I'm a prostitute.
That's
and
it?
A few more. Yeah, you got to keep it simple, baby.
That's what's up.
All right. Okay, well.
I got a P, which I think is a yellow bracelet.
I've got some other... yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Yeah.
They'll do some P stuff, which is fine. Anyway, yeah, I got some other quick hitting topics for you, but we'll do them on the next episode of Puttin On Airs. But for now, we're going to briefly adjourn and come right back with History Professor Cho on the subject of Beverly Hills,
baby.
Golden Age.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
Golden Age Beverly Hills, right after this.
Let me pee.
Go pee. All right, y'all. This holiday season, we'll be giving thanks to our friends over at Manscaped. Everybody loves turkey and stuffing, but you'll be looking like a dessert yourself with the help of Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have blessed you with the ultimate Thanksgiving dinner topic. Tell your in-laws about your new cutting-edge ball trimmer and gift yourself or the man in your life the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Trim your pumpkins by going to manscaped.com and use the code POA for free shipping and 20% off. Cho, tell them about your balls.
Well, they're better now. They're way better balls now that I'm using Manscaped, because for years and years, it was a bit of a painful experience down there. But now it's just smooth. It is comfortable. Everything, too. I'm talking my balls, the shaft, below that part near the butt and stuff. It's time to give my gooch a smooch. You know what I'm saying? It's wonderful stuff. I love it. And if you think your holiday spread is good, well, it's time to give thanks to Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, or as I like to call it, the perfect package for your package. Inside, you're going to find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, which works wonderful. Now that I'm getting older, I've got so much up there, and I hit it every day with it, and it's no big deal. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Toner, which I've been telling y'all about every week. That is genuinely my favorite part because, you know, let's face it, since the Manscaped is so good, it's not like you have to trim your balls every day. You know what I mean? But what I do use every day is my crop preserver ball deodorant because it makes my balls smell not like balls, right? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top, nose, ear, all that good stuff. No hygiene routine is complete without Manscaped's signature deodorant. I'm telling you guys, devotee, I'm never not putting this stuff on my nads. A couple swipes and you'll be feeling oh so crisp. Trae, tell them once again how they can have their balls like my balls.
If you want to get your balls like Cho's balls, then you need to get 20% off and free shipping with the code POA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code POA. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Listen, man, I know it sounds too good to be true, but I want you to just do me a favor and run on over to savewithconrad.com. Get yourself a quick quote. My man Andy M. just left us a 5-star review over at conradreviews.com, and he had this to say. The effort and communication from Josh was above and beyond. We ran into several unexpected hiccups along the way, but Josh kept us informed and kept looking for options to get things done. In the end, we were still able to refinance to a 15-year loan, where we're going to be able to pay it off in 10, and we took enough cash out to pay off our credit cards, my truck loan, and even buy my wife her very first new vehicle. We're going to save over $500 a month from what we would have been paying without the refinance. We can't thank everyone enough. Now, guys, that right there is a win-win-win situation. Let me explain. Over the last couple of years, your house is probably worth more than ever. Now, what you do with that equity is up to you. And what I'm going to recommend is we do what our man Andy did. Andy took himself from a 30-year loan down to 15 years, but he's planning to pay it off in 10. Now, how can he afford to do that? We got rid of all his credit card debt. Just like that. We got rid of his truck loan, and we even got him enough cash to get his wife a new vehicle. The result? Cheaper monthly payments. How does that happen? How do you get a new car, pay off a truck, and get rid of your credit cards and cut years off your loan? You go to savewithconrad.com. We're going to get you cheaper monthly payments. And how's this for starters? No house payments for the next 2 months. That's right. You can skip your next 2 payments. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. And buddy, if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And here's the best part. We don't say no. We say not yet, but here's how. Now, I don't care if you were late here or there. Maybe you had a bankruptcy back in the day. Maybe you were late on a credit card. We're going to help you figure out how to get in the situation that your family needs now and long term. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life at savewithconrad.com.
God damn it, that's good as fuck.
Ain't it good as fuck? Yeah,
is.
we back, y'all. Speaking of good as fuck, here it comes. Everybody's favorite segment, History Professor Cho.
Is it?
I think it is.
I don't think so.
Oh, be nicer to yourself, baby.
No.
On the subject of old Beverly Hills, I don't know any specific Beverly Hills history. I just know that in old Beverly Hills, there was like a lot of drugs, a lot of women getting tuned up and getting and getting fed drugs that didn't hit for them because it made them look better in the pictures, and just general like abuse and debauchery. Pretty much, while everybody had like bow ties on. That's pretty much what I know about old Beverly Hills.
I mean, yeah, you nailed it. I wanted to talk more about how Beverly Hills became that and what Beverly Hills was before that, because Beverly Hills is not like Las Vegas in the sense that Las Vegas was literally set up
Invented
to be what Las Vegas is.
A den of sin.
Exactly. Like Las Vegas was never anything before it was what fucking Las Vegas is.
It was literally created for that express purpose.
Right. Beverly Hills is not the same way. Beverly Hills had a completely different inception, and then it just kind of was like, oh shit, I guess we're doing this now. You know what I'm saying? Because like in the early days of Beverly Hills / LA, this area was just like a ton of ranches. Like it was actually like super country as fuck out here. Like the opposite of what we think of Beverly Hills. Because when we think of Beverly Hills, we think of the hotel. We think of it being posh. We think of like palm trees and shit. But before that, it was just like which they still do have horse ranches and shit like that out here. But like,
we're in Burbank where I live, and there's horse stuff in Burbank for sure.
yeah, right.
I don't know if they have horse stuff in Beverly Hills. There's a lot of horse stuff around out here because like a lot of Hollywood was built on like westerns and shit.
Right.
So they still,
but
you can still find that stuff.
But it was the reason, like, the one thing came before the other. Like, it was a bunch of horse stuff, and they were like, well, if we're going to be doing movies, we already got the horse stuff. Like, they didn't bring the horses in for the movies. The horses and stuff was already here.
Okay.
And I thought it was the opposite, because, like, I've always drove through, like, that horse stuff. I was like, yeah, they bring the horses out here.
I always thought that the reason, like, Hollywood became Hollywood was mostly because of the weather and the sunlight.
Right.
It was like, we can be outside with good lighting, and it's always like this all
Makes
year
sense,
long.
doesn't it?
And then after that, once you decide that, then you bring all the horse stuff
Right.
and all the Wimmern stuff and all the dwarf stuff and all the flying monkey stuff. You bring all that to you.
Right. No, it actually worked the other way. Like, they were trying to do a completely different thing.
I did not know that.
And then all the now we consider Hollywood types were just like, this is the place to fucking go. So, like, it was basically like a bunch of ranch land, and there was a bunch of big wig dudes who were just buying up parcels of land. Like, I don't know if you've seen of course you've seen the movie Chinatown, correct? So, like, you know, the main antagonist of that old dude that was just like buying up all this bullshit, kind of similar to that. And
that's actually, that dude's based on a real thing, a real dude.
Yes, and his name is fucking Burton Green. Okay, I think it was. Because that also deals with like the water company type stuff.
William Mulholland is the guy that brought water to L.A., I think. And they had to figure the water out because they're like, oh, this desert hits. Ain't no water, though. And then the water man, William Mulholland, water business.
Yes.
One of the hiddenest motherfuckers at water business of all time because he's the dude that figured out water.
And he did
LA.
it accidentally.
He's like, I got this water thing cracked.
He did it accidentally.
Okay.
So I'm going to get into that. But there's like because they've got all this farming community, they're buying up parcels of land. There's this huge land boom, and a ton of people from like the eastern United States who are like, damn, man, the sun hits, like, we're going to move out there. They're starting this little community, and like, we can kind of get something for cheap because they're just really starting it. And they're like, we know how to farm, fuck it, we'll go out there. So all these big businessmen start an oil company because, like, that's
what you do.
That's what you do. They're like, if there's a place, there will be oil in the ground, and we'll just like dig for oil. But when they drilled, they found zero oil whatsoever. But what they did find was like a huge main of water.
Yeah,
right.
An aquifer.
So successful types don't go, oh, we went for something and then it didn't work out. Instead, they go, let's work with what we got. So that's how the Rodeo Land and Water Company was started. They were like, fuck, man, we've hit water. Let's just change our whole business model. We were going to be an oil company, but now...
Well, again, it makes sense. You're trying to make a city in the fucking desert.
Right,
it's like
of course.
You're going to need water. I mean, matter of fact,
it's just funny to think that they didn't even think about that first.
I know. They're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Y'all ever thought about how water would hit? Yes. And they're like, God damn, that would hit.
But of course, they first were just like, hey, we'll get to water later. Oil.
Yeah.
Let's get with oil. So when they do this and they start this water company, now you've got a place that basically all the jobs were like the people that own the ranch and the ranch hands and yada, yada, yada. And now if you've got a big old water business, you know how water business is.
Yeah.
So
a lot of money in water business.
Right. So there is, a lot more jobs, a lot more people are moving there. And as I said, the head honcho of this Rodeo Land and Water Company was a feller named Burton Green, who, while he starts the water company, he also married the judge's daughter. So he's like big water. He also married the judge's daughter. So, like, this dude is fucking, like, I guess boss hog or, like, I don't know, just like that dude. And so he's basically like, okay, they're like, this is your town. Like, what do you want to call it? And he decided, he was thinking about his fond memories of childhood. Back living in he didn't live, he was from Wisconsin, but him and his family spent.
Did he have a sled that hit?
No, Rosebud.
It fucking sounds like some Citizen Kane shit.
It does sound like some Citizen Kane shit, but and that's funny. I was thinking about that when I was writing this, but like he was from Wisconsin, but his family used to vacation out in Massachusetts at these farms. That he always was like, that was the best part of my childhood. And the farms were called the Beverly Farms. So he was like Beverly. At first, the Beverly Hills wasn't a thing. It was just this is Beverly. And then it became we're in the Beverly Hills, and now this is Beverly Hills. Right. So
they called it Beverly. Also, there was Hills,
and they're like, these are Beverly.
These are the Beverly
Hills, and so now we live in Beverly Hills. So it officially becomes a town in 1907, and there were only at this time there were only 3 north to south streets, which were I think you know all these: Cannon Street, Beverly Street, and of course Rodeo Drive, which all of them end, or Rodeo Drive ends at Wilshire Boulevard. We all know that now, but back then that was the thing. You had Wilshire Boulevard, Rodeo Drive ended there. This is also around the time when the Beverly Hills Hotel was erected, obviously. And they were basically hoping to attract rich people to this town. They've just started this town. They've got some residential people, but they were like, we need some people that hit to come in here and hit so that we can hit.
Keep
like
hitting.
we need outsiders' money.
If you're gonna keep hitting, you need to get people that hit to come hit with you.
Yeah, because at this time it wasn't booming the way that they thought it was initially going to boom, and the only thing I can think of is that like water is less profitable than oil, if I had to guess.
Sure, but to me it feels like if you got the water and thus you make it feasible to live in this super hitting place. Like, I can definitely see why they thought this place is about to hit real hard. Because again, it's like
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Everything hits all the time here. It's like all we got to do is get the word out, and people might be like, "Hey, that's a desert, right?" So when you're like, "Nah, we got the water hookup though," then they'll be like, "Okay,
oh shit,
well, let's go hit there."
Right. Well, that wasn't necessarily happening at first, but the guys still really believed in this town. They were like, no, I'm telling you, something's going to happen here. This is going to be the deal. So they went out and they continued developing the community. But like, whereas before they were only developing the community based on parcels of land that they had actually sold to someone, at this point they were like, we're just going to do it on spec. We're just going to build a town. And if you build it, they will come. One of those situations. So they're building a lot of mansions, a lot of business centers, just completely on spec. And they are not like, whereas nowadays you would be like, you would see people doing that, but it's all these like ticky-tacky houses and like, we're just going to put up this kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Back then, they were, dude, like the crown molding in this house was pristine. They're just building insane things.
So they're building like residential houses for people that are not
that aren't even living there yet.
They're just building.
That have not asked.
They're building hitting ass houses so they can holler at people who hit and be like,
"Would you like to buy this house?
Look at this house that hits in this place that hits. Wouldn't you like to live there?"
Right.
And they're going to be like, "That does hit."
Because like there are spec houses now. People do that. Like people will buy land and build a house on spec, but usually
it's speculation.
Yeah, right. But like, I don't know. These were like mansion monstrosities, and they're spending so much money
that
they
they fucking fake it till you make. Like if
that's what they were doing.
If they had the fucking idea in their head that like we want it to be this type of place, i.e., where only the hittingest people live, then you gotta go about it.
No,
like
I agree.
that,
and by the way, clearly paid off. But that's what they were thinking. They were just like, look, we are going to make this place appear to be the only place that anyone that hits would want to live. So we're just gonna we'll lose it on the front end, but we'll make it on the back end. And so between 1920 and this pays off. They start doing all this stuff, and people are just like, oh my God,
damn, it does hit.
It does hit. It's beautiful, and there's water.
Right.
This is fucking amazing. So between 1920 and 1925, the population grew from less than 700 to 7,500 people in 5 years. And then by 1926, it was 13,000. So like it took 5 years for it to get to 7,500 and then doubled
in a year
immediately.
Right.
Because they had a huge promotion campaign. The city brought in attractions like rodeos, dog shows, horse shows, aviation shows.
It's funny because
auto racing.
None of those, except for the last two. But the first one, I don't know. None of that sounded like fancy people shit to me. It's just like, we got horses, dogs doing stuff out here. Fucking, there's a circus. We got fucking look at what our cows can do.
I don't think it's necessarily fancy stuff, really, but it's just something going on to get people to come there.
So you're not just in a house that hits, in a place that hits. There's also
shit
stuff that hits.
that's happening, and also you
need stuff that hits.
When you got stuff that's hitting, you're also attracting like people from, I guess, which would now be referred to as the suburbs of Beverly Hills. They're like, oh, did you know in that new little town they're having this? And then they get there and they're like, holy fuck, man.
This all hits.
This is amazing. Like, I hit.
Right.
So, like, I should be here, you know, and
where
hit.
things hit, yeah.
So they also, during this time, again, this is all starting to pay off. There's a lot of people that are moving into these homes that were built on spec. And when this happened, they did a massive landscape overhaul. This is when they lined the streets with palm trees and all those like other, you know, super hitting trees that you see. And this is when the Beverly Hills Nursery was founded, because they were like, well, we need someone that can take care of all these trees and shit. So now the Beverly Hills Nursery becomes a thing, which creates more jobs, which creates more opportunity for people to come in and buy these homes that were built on spec and shit like that. So the planning and landscaping, they spared no expense. Like when they're just landscaping and building the city streets, they called in this super hitting architecture team called the Olmsted Brothers, who, among other things, designed the roadways for the Great Smoky Mountains, the Acadia National Parks, Yosemite Valley, and Atlanta's Piedmont Park.
All the places that hit.
All the places that hit. They were like, those are our fucking guys. And we talked about this in the Biltmore episode with the service road or whatever, but you don't really think about the fact that someone designed the roads coming into a place. You always just think, you're like, well, here's the place and here's where they're from, so the road has to go there.
You got to just get there.
But like the thought process of like, we're going to make the entrance to this place hit so hard that when you come in here, you go, I don't want to leave here. I want to be here. So they spared no expense and got those motherfuckers out there. So real estate's booming, the city is hitting, and now all these rich hitters from everywhere start moving in. People such as Will Rogers, Tom Mix. Do you know who Tom Mix is?
Oh, yeah.
You've heard the name.
Yeah.
You've heard the name.
Yeah, who is that?
So Tom Mix was an old Western cowboy actor. And I know, here's the reason you've heard the name. In the movie Tombstone, at the very end, when they're doing the epilogue of the movie and there's that narration over it, they talk about Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp ended up marrying whatever, and they had a great life. He went on to Hollywood to oversee such films as blah, 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 blah. Wyatt Earp died in 19 and blah, blah, blah. Amongst the people at his funeral were, and they list all the actors and stuff, and they're like, Tom Mix wept. That's the last line of Tombstone is Tom Mix wept at Wyatt Earp's funeral. So Tom Mix,
he was the Jesus of his day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And he was a super hitting cowboy actor. And so so here's the people that move in just off the top that I read. Will Rogers, Tom Mix, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Louis B. Mayer, which that's probably the most important one of them,
for sure.
I mean, you could sit here and go, Charlie Chaplin hits harder than Louis B. Mayer, but in the grand scope of things, no, he does not.
In terms of building the Hollywood that we know and show business and all that. I mean,
so what I wanted to talk about, now we're kind of brought up to speed of how Beverly Hills became the Hollywood that we know it today. I was actually blown away because I always assumed that that it was like Las Vegas in the sense that it was built to be Hollywood. It was built for films and stuff because, as you were saying earlier, it's like the lighting is great out here. It's wonderful. This would be a great place to shoot things. But like films and Hollywood was actually centralized in New York before all this. Like that's where films were done. That's where silent films were done. That's where the shorts were done and stuff like that. And the people that created Beverly Hills didn't go into it thinking, we want to create where films are made. They didn't.
Right.
Like, they didn't at all.
They're like, this place just hits real hard, and now there's water to allow people to live. So why would you not want to live here?
And people like Charlie Chaplin and Louis B. Mayer and all these people that were doing films in New York were just like, I mean,
It hits harder.
we could just do this out there. And it wouldn't be like frigidly cold in February, and we could shoot a lot of stuff outside.
The people that would end up doing that, everybody's like, there's this new place, hits real hard.
Yeah.
And people that hit were like, we got to find out about that. So they come out here, but then the people that are in like the movie game come out here, and I think they then were like, the lighting's incredible. The weather's always like this. This actually makes perfect sense.
Imagine
for what
a scene
we do.
right here.
So it wasn't invented for that purpose, but the
it
people
just made sense.
who do that came out here and were like, you know what this would be good for?
Right.
Fucking.
And it just kind of happened. Which again, like I said, like I genuinely thought it was because like that is Vegas. Like Vegas was exactly that. Vegas did not exist, and they were like, let's put all these fucking casinos up. Let's put this strip up. Let's make this a gambler's paradise. But no, the Beverly Hills and Hollywood and Los Angeles, as it were, was just like, we think this area hits. Yay, we found water. Let's try to get people that hit to come out here.
Right.
And it's just coincidentally, the people who hit are the movie stars.
Movie shit.
Exactly.
They came out here and they were like, this is perfect for movie shit.
Exactly.
And then it became that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I never knew it worked out
I didn't
that
either.
way, but that checks out. I got like, growing up trash, I've always had this thing where like, I swear to God, if I drive into too nice of a neighborhood,
You know.
in my head, I'm like, I don't belong here.
I gotta get out
I'm
of
always
here.
like, they're gonna expel me. They're gonna know. They're gonna smell me.
Yeah.
They'll be able to smell me and they'll make me leave. And I've had that in any nice neighborhood ever, which is why Beverly Hills. LA gets shit on a lot, and I actually like LA.
I love it out here.
I like LA quite a bit.
I love it.
And I like living here. But Beverly Hills is the one part of it that like I kind of feel
Understand.
that way about.
Yeah.
Like every time I go to Beverly Hills, I'm like, this is extra. I don't belong here. I
Yeah.
stink too much. They want me to leave. And also, that's been supported by most of the meetings I've had in Beverly Hills have
When they
ended
were like,
with them
you
being
stink,
like,
you don't
should
belong here,
leave.
and you should leave.
Yeah, right. Be like, the answer is no, and you should leave.
And by the
now.
way, you stink.
Right, yeah, exactly.
When
I
the first
I
time,
feel like if Beverly Hills is the super yacht, Bel Air is like the mega yacht.
that's 100%. I remember the first time. So
yeah,
me
but like Bel Air and Malibu and like places like that is just like, there's not like all the major agencies and stuff in Hollywood are all in Beverly Hills, whereas like I feel like Bel Air and Malibu and shit, that's just where those people nobody's working. Exactly.
Yeah, right. That's where they
just
retire
where
to.
those people that hit. That's just
That's
where
where
they
they live.
hit.
Right,
at.
gotcha.
Yeah, right.
Like
they go to work
business
somewhere
doesn't
else.
happen
Yeah.
there.
They go to
Yeah.
a bad
I
neighborhood
have
to
to go
work,
to
Beverly
fucking
Hills.
meetings in Beverly Hills all the time. You know, there's no meetings in Malibu or Bel Air.
The first
It's
time,
just hitting. That's all they do.
there was a couple moments when like our tour first started to hit and we started getting some notoriety. Like obviously selling the book was one of them, but like I remember the moment that I was like, holy shit, have I arrived? And it was when our agent Val, shout out Val, great guy, invited us to lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And so I heard that and I was like, wait, you can really go there?
Mhm.
Like I can go there? Like I thought that like you had to have a pass or you had to be wearing a certain jacket. I can go there. And he was like, yeah, we're going to have lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I called my mom and dad immediately, who, like I've told you this before, my mom feigns fancy more than anyone has ever feigned fancy. She grew up dirt poor as fuck, but then one day decided, fuck that. I'm going to be, fucking Audrey Hepburn. That's who I am. And I'm going to be obsessed with all this stuff. And I called her and like she was freaking out. She's like, oh my God, like bucket list item. You're going to the Beverly Hills Hotel. Holy shit. And we went there and it was as advertised. I mean, it was like fancy as fuck. But we get in there and I remember a couple things stood out to me that were interesting. The first of which, we were all dressed how we normally dress.
Right.
And I was thinking like, oh God, this is not going to work out.
Right.
And then there was a dude, I remember, I was telling Val that I was like lamenting the fact that I didn't feel like I belonged. And then I saw this fucking dude walking by who looked like James Gregory. If you're a comedian fan, James Gregory, he's a comedian and he just kind of looks like an old ghoul now.
Old Papa.
Old Papa.
Round
And so there was this dude.
And he's probably wearing flip-flops and like sweat shorts, like
Yeah.
sweatpants that are cut off at
Yeah.
the knees, shit
It
like
just looks
that.
dirty. And I was just like, does that guy belong in here? And Val looked at me and he goes, That's the richest
That's
fucking
probably
guy.
the richest motherfucker
Because
in
they
here.
don't give a
well, see, that's
fuck.
the thing. You think about, like, you can just pull up and go to the Beverly Hills Hotel. Yeah, you can. And you might think, like, oh, but I got a T-shirt on. But in L.A.,
That
people
means
do
you're
that.
rich. Yeah,
that's
that
what
means
they
you're rich.
do.
But,
People
like-
don't dress worth a damn, or well, actually, they spend a whole lot of money to look like they're poor or whatever. But either way, they wear T-shirts, they wear whatever. So you can just pull up and go these places, and it doesn't matter that you're.
I
not
mean, you're gonna
wearing
spend
a
money.
Tuxedo. I thought you had to wear a tuxedo
Yeah, me
to
too.
go to any of these
The
places.
first time I
but
went to
you
a
don't.
casino, I thought that. When I was in
Right.
Vegas, I was like, because my entire Vegas thought was
Rat Pack, Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11,
Yeah.
right? So, also, do you remember what we got as an appetizer at the Beverly Hills Hotel?
Deviled eggs, right?
Deviled eggs. And I was just like, well, be goddamn, must be my birthday.
Right.
But
when Corey goes out in LA, they think he's like a billionaire.
They must. But anyways, that is the story of how Beverly Hills became Beverly Hills, and I'm using that to set up in future episodes. I want to then dive in to the lavishness, the Marilyn Monroe era, the Louis B. Mayer era, the Joe DiMaggio era, all of this stuff. But I thought that this episode would be a wonderful entree,
Table setter.
a table setter,
Yeah.
so that we know that all of that was actually by accident, which I think is wonderful.
No, that's great. I never knew that ever until you just said it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that
so-
intersection, by the way.
No, I was about to say,
I know it.
I didn't know if the people were going to see the video you were showing, but yeah, it panned over this famous intersection in Beverly Hills that sucks, where it's like 6 streets all just combined, and,
It's the
and you
worst.
pull up and you're just like, we're just
Can
going to
we-
all.
Okay.
And it sucks because it's all a bunch of egomaniacal dickheads navigating the same intersection
On their phone,
where
texting
there's
because of a meeting.
no real, like, there's no lights
It's like
or
the
anything.
gates to hell.
You
That's
always
the
just got to
worst,
figure
man.
it out.
Intersection.
Anyway, yeah.
LA is both the worst and the best.
Yeah, no, it is.
Because like getting here, like the travel of like, you know, that's why admittedly, I fly into Burbank, which is more expensive.
Pimp.
It's more expensive, but like it's because I can't deal. The real struggles of LA are put on display when you have to fly into LAX and travel to Burbank, because like you have to go through all of that shit in the back of a fucking car from someone who this is their third job taking you to this shit, and I can't fucking deal with it. But my point is like the getting to LA part sucks and the getting around LA part sucks
so much.
But once I'm here and I'm grounded and it's like, you know, I'll stay over here and like I'm 10 minutes from Trae's house. The aura of the place is something that I can't describe. And now I don't know if everybody would feel this way, but like I grew up knowing I wanted to be an entertainer. So like walking around Burbank where like so many things
Right.
have not changed at all. And I'm looking, I go, this fucking restaurant right here looked the same as when Johnny Carson was eating here when he was on the set at the Burbank studios. It's an energy that you cannot, I mean, New York definitely has that energy.
Right.
New York
Well-
definitely has it, but it's an energy that you can't really get over to people if they're not in your industry.
Yeah, or care about it. Like, yeah, I grew up in my dad's video store in Salina, Tennessee. Literally, I grew up literally dreaming of moving to Hollywood and living here. And so when I did, that honeymoon phase lasted. There was a lot of shine on it. Oh my
Right.
God, I'm here. Well, I'm kind of over that.
Of course. And for me,
you definitely get there.
Yeah, of course you do.
eventually.
Of course you
Like,
do. And like I'm so lucky because I don't live here. I only
not
ever
jaded.
visit here, you know.
Yeah.
And people always really go like, "Do you like LA?" I've heard it's shit, and I was like, "It definitely is if you live there." I said, "But for me, I'm a very lucky person. Whereas like every time I go to LA, it's for something that hits. So it's always right this way, Mr. Forrester. It's always like, hey, we're about to shoot 15 episodes with your best friend of the thing that you love doing the most, which is this Puttin On Airs podcast. Or it's like you're at Largo with Adam Sandler and all this shit. So like my experience in LA is wonderful. Genuinely can't imagine living here,
Oh,
especially
it will
if you were.
beat you down.
I know, and you
buddy.
make money, and
Yeah,
you make
right,
money.
yeah,
If
I know,
you
I
live
honestly,
here,
I honestly have no right complaining
no,
about
if
it.
you live here and you don't, because New York's the same fucking shit. Like New York is fucking awesome when you have money and you know that you're going to get on this show. But starting out in either one of these towns, I'm so fucking thankful that I started
Yeah.
out in the South. So fucking thankful.
Yeah.
Because like brutal, but that's
All
Beverly
right,
Hills.
Well, I look very much for. I think you did a great job setting the table because I didn't know any of that. I found it very interesting, and I can't wait to talk more about old Hollywood and Louis B. Mayer and them. So, thank you, Professor Cho.
Thank you, Trae.
For another stirring rendition of your history segment. All right, that's it for this episode of Putting On Airs. Except for, of course, here we come with Clearing the Airs.
One,
We'll
two,
see y'all
three,
next
four.
time.
1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at Putting On Airs. Putting On Airs. Putting On Airs. Putting On Airs.
Okay.
Did you listen to the goddamn episode this week?
No, but you told me it hit though.
Dude,
What's funny is I've listened to a couple of recent episodes recently, but not the episode we're going to be talking about. I've been listening to the ones that we've already talked about, so it's completely
That's fine.
worthless. It's a completely worthless enterprise.
No, it's not worthless. It still hits.
It does still hit. You're right, but yeah, I know that this is the episode where we finally finish up the French talk, which you've roasted me for endlessly ever since we started doing it, and now because I didn't think it would be enough content, and it lasted for 3 goddamn episodes.
An hour and a half that you thought might be 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? On that note, you said we go real long and hit real hard in this episode. Now, at this point, everybody's already been through that marathon of hitting. So we're going to keep this edition of Clearing the Airs short and sweet because we've already given you plenty of our sorry asses this week. However, I did want to let people know, we might as well just go ahead and tell them, the next 3 episodes are going to be a little bit different, but still very fun. We got one coming to them from when we were in the UK, right? Cho,
Yep.
correct?
Correct.
We're going to do one via this internet technology here because of just the realities of our logistics situation. And then producer Russ is putting another special episode together. And then after that, we'll be back to normal, essentially. But that's all I got other than airmail.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know because I do understand that some people might be like, oh, God, is Putting On Airs over. No, like literally just so y'all know, we film these in batches and it just hasn't been logistically possible for us to get together in time for the episodes to run out, but we will be back to normal soon. And frankly, I mean, these other episodes are going to hit and you're going to like them. It's not a fall from grace. It's just a shift to something else. But hey, while we're here, let's get into some air mail. Subject line, episode 31, Foreigners and Philosopher. From our friend Donald. Hey guys, another laugh out loud episode. 2 things. When talking about customs, French chivalry, gallantry, Southern politeness in the use of ma'am/sir, Corey hit the nail on the head when he commented that somehow people are supposed to expect gallantry from the French or kissing from Italians, but somehow what Americans do just isn't acceptable. Yes, if you are in France or Italy and do something American that offends someone, then sure, you are on their turf and they have the right to expect you to behave. What gets me is someone from another country criticizing Americans in the U.S. to our faces. I once worked with an Indian woman, oh boy, from New Zealand, thank God, who grumbled.
Okay, all right.
I once worked with an Indian woman.
Can be from New Zealand. I mean, hell,
That's true.
Two charts from Alabama. I mean,
yeah, right. I once worked with an Indian woman from New Zealand who grumbled that in casual conversation we would reference old television programs or use other American slang, and that it often left her and the Chinese guy in our group scratching their heads and feeling left out. At the same time, if they did or said something... If they said or did something based on their culture of origin, we were just supposed to accept. This is getting a little press 2 for English, God damn it.
Yeah.
That we were just supposed to accept it and go on because we should make allowances and learn something of their culture. This from people who had each been in the U.S. for a decade but hadn't bothered to pick up the cultural references. Double standards do exist. Number 2, I had to laugh when you were talking about the Hitness philosophers all being Greek. My mind immediately rewrote and started playing "Grease Is the Word." Love you guys like chicken, Don. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, but the way I read it,
papaw-y,
got a little
in the middle there.
Oh,
That's
God
all right.
damn.
We love our papaws too.
That is, and also, goddamn, it's true. So, anyways, this is from our buddy Steve from Australia. Subject line: Gatlinburg. Good day again, assholes. You resident Australian pest back again with a question. Thanks to a lifetime of watching Monday Night Raw, I feel I have a pretty good handle on U.S. cities and their eccentricities. But hearing you two go on about Gatlinburg and how apparently nobody is from there has me stumped. What's the deal with that? I think from a vague memory of a Corey Brannon song that it has some Civil War history or something. I could look it up, but I'd prefer to hear Professor Cho and Trae try to explain it and then fact check your spurious claims afterwards. Cheers, Steve in Perth. What we meant by, do you want to take that one, Trae?
I don't know. It's hard to sum up Gatlinburg because at first I thought it'd be easy, but then I realized all my reference points are also like American places,
stuff,
like Myrtle Beach and Branson and places like that. He's not going to know what any of that shit is either. So
right.
like I don't know what the Australian equivalent is, but we just have these like tourist trap towns.
Well,
I think
he's confused as how we said that we didn't think people could be from there.
Well, and I don't know what you meant, but that's what I meant. It's like it's a place where people go, right, on vacation, especially trash people go on trash vacations there. Not exclusively, but it's in the South, it's in the mountains. So like Jesus is a big part of it. Pancakes are a big part of it. It's all like very family friendly, but also Dolly Parton's a big part of the area up there. So that hits like a motherfucker. She's got her own theme park there, not in Gatlinburg, but in Pigeon Forge. It's all kind of the same place. And it's just like a little mountain town tourist trap in Tennessee that's very, very southerny, very, Jesus-y, very down-homey, very family-friendly, but also it does hit for me. It always has hit for me. But I would, like, to me, I know that millions of people are from Las Vegas, but I would be fascinated to meet somebody. I would be fascinated to meet somebody who's from Las Vegas too, because it's just like there's just certain places where you don't think of people growing up there from the time of a child, and any kind of tourist place, which Gatlinburg is a place that I feel like that way about.
Your whole view on life has to be so insane. I would say though that like if you grew up in Gatlinburg, it's possible that you grew up more cultured than a lot of people in the surrounding areas because you meet tourists all the time. Like you're constantly around different
fucking
people.
Rod Run tourists.
Yeah.
I don't know how cultured.
As soon as I said it, as soon as I fucking said it, brother, I was like, yeah, man, all different types of mayonnaise motherfuckers.
Yeah, right.
You are right. All right.
It is, but it's in the Great Smoky. It's right at the entrance to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is fucking beautiful. So I mean, it's like
it's great,
it's super awesome in a lot of ways. It's just also kind of cheesy and rednecky and funny in a lot of ways too. Go ahead.
Subject line: zeros, etc. I think they meant Xenos. Xenos paradox. Zeno's paradox of big components of fractals in mathematics, Mandelbrot's theory of fractals. In the Greek era, women were not educated. Women were chattel just to further the species. Chattel.
Yeah.
Like cattle. Yeah, I get
Pretty much. Yeah, right.
Love
That's the type of slavery we had too, which, don't hit.
Love/attraction connections between human beings premised in shared experience. You are attracted to what you share emotionally, intellectually. Men were the paramount of thought, beauty to men among men. You're going to be attracted to whomever you spend the most time with and are groomed to admire. Oh, are they trying to say that's why they fuck their butts?
Maybe. They're trying to explain the butt fuck. I never really felt that I needed an explanation for all the butt fucking.
Some people like fuck a butt.
Yeah, right.
Dude. You got a butt, I got a dick, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Last but not least, our favorite Texas mammal, Natalie Nichols. Subject line, Corey.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, boys. Loved 99% of the last podcast, but when but when Corey said that Springsteen, while great, didn't touch the Beatles, I wanted to wash his mouth out with soap. The Beatles were epic, but the boss is the voice of my generation. His music is the soundtrack of our lives. I believe his body of work holds up in a straight-up comparison as well. Also, I'm wondering if the band is the third musical B of Trae's childhood.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'd bet good money his daddy taught him
Yep.
about Levon Helm.
She is correct about that. Yep.
Thanks for all y'all do, keeping us laughing in these crazy times. Natalie, P.S. I'm not mad anymore, Corey. I figured you were worried. First off, bitch, let me just say, I'm just kidding, Natalie. But like, I don't think I was ever saying in terms of like, who do I think hit the most talent wise, but like, you cannot. Nobody touches the Beatles in terms of cultural stamp. I love Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
I do. I actually fuck with more Bruce Springsteen music on the regular than I do the Beatles. But like, no,
Right.
if we're just talking about which one of those things had Shakespearic levels of imprint, then I'm sorry, but it's the Beatles.
I don't know exactly how old Natalie is, but
she's the best.
She's probably around how old my dad would have been if he was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably about the same generation. My dad would agree with. I mean, like I said, the boss was one of the three B's. She's right about the band too. My dad loved the fucking band. Not quite on the level of those other three, but like he loved them. But my dad was a huge Springsteen fan, and probably around the same age as her, and would agree with that voice of a generation stuff, I'm sure. But I'm confident that if my dad was alive, he would say all that and then be like, but the Beatles stand alone, you know, terms of like what we're like cultural significance and all that, which yeah, dude, Springsteen is awesome. It's just not.
Because like
he's just not on that same level.
Well, dude, I mean, frankly, even if you were gonna say, okay, let's name a singer songwriter that is on the level of the Beatles, it would be Bob Dylan, not Bruce Springsteen. And I like Springsteen more, but like we're talking, like come the fuck on. The Beatles are Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean? But in terms of who I like more, it's probably Springsteen. So Natalie is on the right track there. Well, thank y'all so much for sending us the messages here at puttinonairs@gmail.com. Thank y'all so much for listening to the show. We hope you like the switcheroos that we're about to throw you. But then I've already booked my plane ticket and booked my Airbnb to come out and film the next batch of episodes, which I am so happy to do. Can't wait. Remember to tell your friends about the podcast. That's the best way to get the word out. Like, subscribe, download, all that good stuff. We love you, and stay fancy, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah.